did strike out Pico Armstrong in 3 pitches.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
It was fantastic.
That's the way the game started.
Yeah, and then it was over after that, basically.
He had a 1-2-3 first inning.
Yeah, and then after that, it was horrible. And then to add injury to insult, Juan Soto goes down just on the eve of Francisco Lindor potentially coming back. So any hope that this thing would start to feel itself out kind of goes away. The one question I have for you, though, is as you're sitting there with your scorebook, getting pissed off by the moment, more pissed off by the moment, as bad as the Mets are.
And nervous about the draft and the build-up to what they would do.
That's my question.
What's your question?
When Darius A. Cuff is sitting right there, prime for the picking, and they take Mikel, what's his name?
Mikel Brown,
Mikel Brown from Louisville.
Yeah.
Did you scream?
I didn't scream because I told you for a week this was going to happen.
No, you did.
Like, it was predictable. Now, I understand a lot of people weren't paying close attention, so to them it was a surprise.
Yeah.
It was not a surprise. If you've listened to me before, I knew what was going to happen. I have an opinion on what happened last night with the Nets that may surprise you because sometimes time heals all wounds. But I'm going to hold off on that because I want to give it a few more minutes until we get to the full 24-hour mark.
We need to bury the Mets first.
You got to bury the Mets first.
Put the final scoops of dirt on this season for the Mets.
I mean, dude, they suck. Like any Met fan out there, and there aren't many of you left, who tried to make the argument that they'll turn it around, they just need a winning streak, they're better than their record says. Like, all you need to know is look at the last 3 days in the non-competitive starts they've gotten from guys who, by the way, make a lot of money and need to be better.
And that's
Freddie Peralta's supposed to be an ace. He gave up 10 runs on Saturday night. David Peterson in a contract year is supposed to be good. Remember, he was an all-star last year. Kodai Senga, 3 years ago, was a legitimate Rookie of the Year candidate. Like, it's bad, and it's non-competitive. And then I watched David Stearns before the game basically tell you, yeah, we're better than this. We just got to give these guys more runway. Runway for what? You built a mess. You did a terrible job. They suck. Like, that's the reality of the 2026 Mets. And I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm not going to watch anymore because I will. I'm a sycophant. A lot of Met fans will stop watching, and I understand that. I'm going to still watch because I'm a sycophant, loser, idiot.
Yep.
But my God, Tiki, they're awful.
Yeah. There's not a lot positive to look for. You can look at the young players. We've said this multiple times. Well, at least the young kids are coming up and they're playing well. And look, to an extent they are. But it doesn't mean anything because they're not learning how to win. They're not learning from the veterans what it takes to push through adversity. They're just because, one, Francisco Lindor is not back yet. Juan Soto is now hurt. Bo Bichette feels like this is a very short-term nothing. And ultimately he'll be gone even if he does opt in. And so it feels like this team doesn't have a future, even though it does. But it feels like, what are we even doing right now? There's nothing that you're really looking forward to other than some of these young players. But that feels like it's 2 years from now before they become really viable. So I know why you're watching. It's hard for me to pay attention, Evan. It really is.
I don't blame you.
The only time that I start to tune in is when I get a Mets chat tirade from something other that's going on, and I'm like, all right, let me dig into this a little bit.
Well, that's why I say this, and you can obviously disagree. I believe, other than the trade deadline, that'll be my one caveat. I think this is the last time we scream and yell about this because they're about to enter irrelevancy.
Because you already know.
We all know. Like, you have to be out of your mind to not see what's right in front of you, which is that this is a bad team. And I look at last night with Kodai Senga, and I have been a Kodai Senga supporter. I've been a Kodai Senga fan. My son was wearing a Kodai Senga jersey at the game last night.
Oh, wow.
He was a Senga guy. I didn't want to trade him during the offseason. I believe in the guy. So obviously I've been a supporter. He cannot pitch at the major league level anymore. He just can't. Like, results matter. He's made 2 starts since coming back from his injury, quote unquote, and his rehab assignment, and he is an unpitchable mess. And so I think there are 2 options right now. I think the first one is to go to Kodai Senga and say, we want to send you to the minor leagues. Now, he has something in his contract where they need to get permission from him.
Yeah, and didn't he accept it before?
Last year in late August, early September, he did.
Yes.
And he went down, and he accepted it. I would do it again. I would say to Kodai Senga, we'd like to send you to the minor leagues. If he says okay, great, he goes to the minor leagues. He'll become Kayagawa. Guys, remember Kayagawa? He's the mess of signing Brian Cashman had, and he was so bad. He basically pitched in AAA his entire career, making a ton of money. So, Kodai Senga, you can become the new Kayagawa. If Kodai Senga actually has the guts, the balls, if you will, to say, no, he's not going to the minor leagues, then you designate his ass for assignment. It's over. It's over.
Wow.
I mean, you can't pitch him. And again, I'm
Don't
saying
you try to salvage something?
Oh, by doing what, Tiki?
I don't.
By doing what exactly?
It's hard for me to believe that just over a year ago, because this was at the beginning of last season, Kodai Senga was probably the front runner for the National League Cy Young. And then he jumps for a high toss from Pete Alonso, strains his hamstring, not on the toss, but on the sprint when he started to go to first base. And he has not even been close to being the same person.
He's been unpitchable. He went from having a sub-2 ERA, like one of the better pitchers in the National League.
Yes.
Never going deep into games, but being good.
Right.
To being an unpitchable mess. And you're right. Like, that's going to be the story of his career. When I say the name Kodai Senga 15 years from now, you will literally think of the Pete Alonso toss and how his career got altered.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, and it's bizarre, and it's almost unexplainable, but I can only deal with the reality of today. And the reality of today is he cannot pitch in the major leagues anymore. He just can't. Like, am I wrong to say that?
No, because he's got stuff. Like, you see him. He dialed it up to the high 90s yesterday. Obviously, he still has his ghost fork. He has all of those things, but it doesn't fool anybody anymore. Nobody is taken by surprise by Kodai Senga anymore. And it's not 3 times through. It's 1 time through, and then it's done for him. And you see teams just start to tee off. And so, is there value somewhere? I'm sure somebody thinks they can fix him.
Yeah, they'll fix him.
Because he still has his stuff.
Teak, they'll fix him once he's released and he's making nothing. No one's taking on that contract. It's over. Sometimes you got to cut your losses. And I hate doing that. Like, I'm not a big fan of doing that.
No.
And that's why my first avenue would be to say, go to the minor leagues. And if he goes to the minor leagues, great. Go out, surprise all of us, pitch well in the minor leagues. God knows, maybe you come back in August and all of a sudden you fix your career again. Maybe it'll be like Rookie of the Year. Like, your injury actually caused your career to go downwards.
Right.
Maybe you'll have another injury and it'll cause you to be amazing again. I don't know. My point is, it's the minor leagues or you're gone. That's number one. But here's the frustrating part, Met fans. They can do that today. They can announce that today. They could release his ass on national TV today. It doesn't fix everything that's wrong with this team, and there is so much. Like last night, if you went to Citi Field and you dropped a fortune to go to that ballpark, Jared Young was the cleanup hitter. And I'm sorry. I promised I wouldn't do it. And I haven't done it, but I'm going to do it because they're 10 games under 500 and they suck. You couldn't bring back Pete Alonso, David. You were so hell-bent, and he wasn't the only one. You people know who you are. He's bad defensively. He's got a fat ass. You came up with
an excuse.
Every excuse to run this guy out of town. And you know what this guy does? He plays. And you know what this guy does? He's a major league first baseman, as much as you wanted to crap on him. I can't say that about who they've played over there. And so I'm not just mad at David Stearns. I'm mad at all of you people that couldn't wait to run this guy out of town. Now, I'm not going to tell you that if they brought Pete Alonso back, they'd be in first place. They wouldn't. They'd still be bad, but they wouldn't be this bad.
Well, you know exactly who Pete Alonso is. He's played every game. He's going to hit 250, and he's going to hit 40 home runs every single year. That's who Pete Alonso is. And by the way, after a slow start, that's exactly what he's doing in Baltimore.
Yes.
He's hitting 247. He's got 18 home runs, and he plays every single game. That's Pete Alonso. And instead, you want to – wait, who was the original guy? They brought in
Jorge Polanco.
Right.
He's a rumor.
I forgot his name at this point.
Yeah.
That's who they brought in to play first base. And maybe it would be Mark Vientos, who we know is just as bad. So it's just – it was a humongous miss. Humongous miss.
Now, that's not the only issue with this team. Honestly, the reason that they're this bad, the reason that they're 1992 Mets on steroids, is it's everything. Yeah. They don't pitch, they don't hit, their defense is overrated.
And the biggest thing, I think, Evan, this is what's going to start happening, is that there's nobody you want to go see at the ballpark. There's no person. I guess it would be Lindor, but this feels like a lost season for him. Who knows when he's going to come back? Juan Soto hasn't been a star for you yet. He's still Juan Soto, but he hasn't been a star for you yet. If Pete Alonso was still on this team, you say, at least I can go watch Pete hit a home run today. Or at least I know a guy who we brought up through the minor leagues and is homegrown to us and is a star and is going to hit 600 home runs in his career. At least I can go watch that guy. Who do you go watch? You're not going to watch any of the pitchers. Maybe Nolan McLean, who's pitching tonight, right? Maybe Nolan McClain.
Well, they play 2 games, so he'll pitch one of the games.
Them,
yes.
and Manaea will pitch the other one.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Maybe you get 2 good outings tonight. Maybe.
You're funny.
Maybe. But who are you? My point is, who are you going to see?
Yeah, you know
Isn't
what?
that baseball? Because when I think about baseball, at least how I grew up watching baseball, I wasn't a diehard. I didn't grow up in New York. I didn't grow up in any of these major cities. It was just kind of like, let me see who the star is today. Who is the sports star, ESPN, telling me I should watch today from baseball? And I look at the Mets, and they don't have that guy.
Well, I think I'm never one to want to go watch one player, but I think when Juan Soto is healthy, he's that guy.
That's because you grew up here.
Yeah, I get you.
You grew up around the team. I grew up star watching baseball.
I get you.
That's what it was for me.
I think when Soto plays, he qualifies as that.
Yeah, but has he been a star?
Yeah, no, I think Soto's complicated, and I hope he's okay. I hope he can play in both of these games today. I mean, the 10 games under 500, it may get worse if Soto's not in the lineup. It will get worse if Soto's not in the lineup. Juan Soto's having a good offensive season. Juan Soto was an all-star this year. The problem with Juan since he's gotten here is he's just lacked those consistently big hits. Right. That's been the biggest issue. It's not that he's bad. It's not that he's underachieving because the numbers are the numbers. It's that he's lacked those big hits. But it's more than that. I mean, they're just not a good team from top to bottom. And they are about to get lost in the irrelevance because the Yankees are always a good team. Football's about to start. And it's sad. It's sad that when Steve Cohen bought this team, I never thought summers like this would happen again. Now, maybe that's my fault. Maybe I'm being naive. And look, Steve did everything he could financially. I don't begrudge him for that. But I never thought when Steve bought this team that we would ever be sitting here on June 24th talking about, the season's over. And legitimately, it's true. Like when I said it in May and I said it's a lost season, I get the pushback of there's a lot of time, Ev. Things can change, Ev. But you can't argue anymore in late June. They're 10 games under 500. They're showing no signs of life. They're getting buried in wild card races. Like, they're not good. Like, it truly is a lost season. And I find it almost depressing and unimaginable that this is actually happening in the new age of baseball where there's 3 wild card teams, where the Mets are burying themselves into irrelevance. And so I started off being very angry. Now, at 10-14, I'm kind of sad. Like, that's the Mets season. You're angry, then you're sad, then you laugh. That's what this Mets season is. And right now in our conversation, I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just sad. I'm sad that that's where we are in a baseball season in New York.
Yeah, you are 7 games out of the wild card.
What does that mean?
7 games. That's all it is, man.
Stop it.
7 games.
Stop it. Stop it.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Don't tell me that.
Yes, sir, I will.
All right, let's get right to your calls from angry and depressed Met fans. 888-808-1019. Brad in Smithtown. Hey, Brad.
What up, Brad?
So, Tiki, thank you for the memories with the Giants. Love you for that, man.
Thank you.
Ev, the Mets are the only bad team that I root for in this town. Coming off a championship, so elated about that. Sorry that you're a Net fan. I'd throw that out there.
Good for you.
Listen. At the end of the day, the Mets should have just ran it back, and I understand how that might have looked. But at least the players that we loved, and I get it. I called this radio station a lot when BT and Sal had this time slot, and I said it's about the name on the front and not the name on the back. And I was trying to get myself to believe that as Edwin Diaz left, and obviously with the fighting issues that are going on, but in LA it doesn't matter. I legit had real tears when they said that Alonso wasn't coming back, and yet we knew Alonso wasn't coming back, and it felt like I lost someone. That's as sad as it was. And if the Mets ran it back right now, Evan, I'm going to tell you right now, obviously the pitching was the pitching. We didn't do enough to fix that, but if the Mets ran it back, at least there would be something to watch. And Tiki is correct when it says at least you got a guy that's going to hit 40 home runs, 100 to 130 RBIs, that'll make you go to the ballpark.
Right.
That's your guy. Right now, there is not a guy on this team that I would go watch except for Nolan McClain, but I would not waste my money.
Mm-hmm. I get you. I get the point. Now, I want to be fair. Let's say they ran it back.
Yeah.
And instead of 10 games under 500, they were 4 games under 500.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a 6-game improvement, if my math is correct, right?
Of course.
We would still be bitching. There would be major criticisms over decisions and non-decisions and unhappiness with the team. So I don't want to paint it because I don't think it's fair to say, well, at least we'd have this, this, and this. We're only saying that because this situation is so much worse. It's not like we'd be happy at 4 games under 500 because Pete Alonso was going to have a 40 home run season.
No, you're right. But I think ultimately it would have been the same issue. The same issue that plagued the Mets down the stretch last year, which was pitching and really just going depth. And some of it's just bad luck, right?
Some of it. Because when David Stearns opens his mouth and talks about injuries, and, some guys are very reliable and they're hurt.
Right.
You're not wrong, but don't frame that as the reason why you suck. You built a bad roster. Well, own it. And that's his biggest issue.
But
his biggest issue is own your mistakes instead of always coming up with, well, we're better than this. Our coaches are great. We just got to get more out of them. How about the fact that maybe you're not as smart as you think you are?
Or Clay Holmes is bad luck. That's just dumb bad luck.
It is. I own that. Yeah,
against
sure.
the Yankees. Freddie Peralta, there's no way you could have expected him to have one of the worst records for a guy who was pretty solid for as long as he's been in Major League Baseball to be, what is he, second to last or third to last in quality starts this season? Like, you couldn't have expected that. So that's just him coming to New York, not maybe feeling the pressure of being in a contract year and then not performing. Sometimes that happens. But Nolan McClain should have been this young upstart star. We knew it. We saw it. He's struggling in his first full year. Sometimes it's just bad luck, bad circumstances. You don't get what you expected from some of these guys, and especially when you have a rotation that has Manaea and David Peterson, who just are enigmas. Like, what the hell are they? Are they starting pitchers? Are they long relievers? Are they? What are they? And so I feel you on where this team is, but it's the same issue that plagued them last year. The pitching is, if you don't figure that out, it's why the Yankees spend so much money on pitching, starting pitching, and you develop starting pitching, because when you don't have it, it is gross. The Mets had a chance yesterday, right? If they scored 6 runs. Yeah, I know the home run in the 9th inning was pointless, but they lost by 3 runs. If their pitching is better, maybe they win that game.
Let's go to Al in New Jersey. What's up, Al?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
I was leading the charge. I don't know if you remember back in May that we could compare this team to the 2015 team, try to turn it around like them.
Yeah.
And we actually bet Brooklyn Nets tickets off of that. Fair to say now, your Nets tickets are safe. I completely gave up. I guess we'll have to come up with some other bet. I just want an interesting observation I made. In the beginning of the year, Soto went on the IL. Right when he came back, Lindor got hurt, and then he's been on the IL since. Now that we're hearing that Lindor might be activated, all of a sudden Soto takes himself out of the game.
Yeah.
Do you think that's coincidence?
Yes.
Or can we see some sort of conspiracy?
No, and this is the other part of the Mets season I hate.
Conspiracy theory?
We have to hear these bizarre, ridiculous, Soto and Lindor hate each other conspiracy theories that they're playing tag on injuries because they don't want to play together. That's the ridiculousness of the 2026 New York Mets.
I mean, maybe it's true.
It's not true, Tiki.
Of course it's not, but maybe it is.
Maybe it is. We'll get back to your calls in a second, 888-808-1019. And yes, with 24 hours to think about it, I will give you what I think is a rational opinion on what the Nets did at 6 and even what the Knicks decided to do, even though it was very confusing.
Why don't you think about your math, too?
What was my math?
24 hours to think about it.
Yeah, 24 hours to think about it. 12 hours to think about
there
it.
There you go. Let's work on that.
Yeah, my math is off. I meant like...
You meant 24 hours since we talked about it.
No, I meant 24 hours from last night.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's 12 hours.
Hey, listen, I'm disheveled. The Met game was very long. I was very upset last night about numerous things. Don't blame me. My math sucks. Either way, we'll get to the basketball in a few minutes, plus more of your calls at 888-808-1019. And we have new information about Lollipop Gate. It's time for the Yankee turning point of the game. Be the first caller to correctly identify yes or